1 minute warning!
To the goofball army out there, hi at the families, tell them to get to the next room, tell them to go to your neighbors, because we got goofball news to go over, and it might get crazy.
Typically does, guys. If it's your first episode ever, you got like 30 seconds before we start, so not enough time to go to the bathroom, but go get a drink, because trust me, you're probably going to need it there. In the meantime, the rest, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. That way you know about future episodes as well, guys. Buckle your seatbelts if you haven't already. Make sure your tray is in the upright position here, guys, because we are just about ready to get going. And like, oof.
Guys, if you want a crazy ride going forward, a bunch of nonsense, but all nothing but the truth about the Giants, listen in, buckle in, tell a friend.
Let's go.
And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow misogynists, Giants fans, to Two Giant Goofballs, the New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm me, I'm Rob, and...
Wait, I used the wrong term, not misogynist. We don't hate women. What's the term I'm looking for? Where you like pain and hatred of things like that?
Blood of punishment?
I know. I don't want to put this in my search history. Hold on. That's like horrible. People are like, oh my God, they hate women. I'm not watching this show. We don't hate women. Wrong choice of words.
Yeah.
Oh my. What's the what? Masochist. There we go. Masochist. That's the word I was looking for. God damn it. Messed up the goddamn intro. Anyway, welcome, fellow masochists. Not misogynists. Welcome. Oh my God. Listen, guys. We got look, there we go. You see it's Jason there to correct us here. Keep them. Oh my gosh. Listen, I feel like that's where we are at this point. We're masochists because like we just keep on dealing with this team that just puts up, loss after loss after loss, and just keeps on, just giving us pain and heartburn, agita. I feel like I've lost like 3 years off my life by being a Giants fan at this point. That's what I feel like.
Probably.
Yeah. Like it maybe the New York Giants are not healthy. You should come with like a Surgeon General's warning. Like may cause heart attack. Who knows? Do a study.
Have
people have
Giants pills so you don't have to have heart attack every time you watch the game.
The whole situation just crappy, guys. But listen, we're going to go into some of the issues going on with the Giants here and potentially some ways to fix it that I'm sure they'll ignore. And then we'll also go into, of course, our preview of the next loss we scheduled for Thursday as the Eagles are coming into town. It's sad that I'm already saying next loss, but there we are. That's where we're at. That's how negative we are. God damn it. And then we'll give you a quick recap of the Week 5 scores as well. That'll be a little quicker than usual because of the fact that we just got a lot of stuff to talk about there with a quick turnaround here with the Thursday night game. So let's get it rolling. Alrighty, Giants fans. So first up, we got to give a little conversation here of the rookies. Because the rookies are point blank taking the blame for this loss. And it's like a proud moment, but a sad moment. Jaxson Dar says in a post-game press conference, he says, I told as many guys as I can in the locker room, this one is on me, and I'm going to get better. I expect myself to play better in these games and to win them. I'm the leader of the offense. Anytime those things happen, it kind of falls back on the leaders. I take that responsibility. So, listen, I like that he's
what he's saying.
Yeah, but I don't think it's on him. Cam Skattebo on X said right after the game, like 5:35 or something like that. So you're talking like an hour afterwards, probably like Raiders are done with the press conferences and all the BS they got to do afterwards. Says, sorry, Giant fans, I'll be better for y'all. Love. Listen. Again, I love that they're taking ownership and being, giving that kind of leader mentality there. It's not their fault.
No.
Like, we got to be very clear in this. Like, it is not their fault. Now, I know some people could say, oh, you're freaking crazy. That right there is 4 of the 5 turnovers. Yeah, listen, Skattebo had a fumble. People are going to fumble. He's a rookie.
Let's say he's a rookie.
Jaxson Dart had a fumble. Now his I'm a little more pissed at because it just hold on to the goddamn ball. But again, he's a rookie. I'm not going to sit there and get crazy and go all flipping out over a rookie causing a fumble issue. You pretty much name one mobile quarterback that didn't have a fumbling issue when he first gets to the league. I feel like that's a pretty common thing, and they got to learn just to get that internal play clock going, and then figure out when pressure's probably coming behind them, and they got to learn when to hold on to the ball with 2 hands. By the way, that's pretty much always unless you're ready to throw it.
I was about to say, if you're sitting there not throwing the ball, you need to protect that ball.
Yeah, I feel like that's where it's at this point now. Again, got to be clear: rookies will make mistakes, guys. Rookies will make mistakes. But here's the thing: were the rookies responsible for the bad defensive game plan that made, Spencer Rattler look like a freaking Pro Bowler in the first half? Were they responsible for Darius Slayton's bad game? Were they responsible for the complete mismanagement of the roster, literally only suiting up 51 people and just not having a full roster? Absolute insanity.
Absolutely ridiculous. That's just paperwork. That's something it's a roll call thing.
Yeah.
It's simple to learn. Kindergartners know how to do roll call.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm not going to blame them on this. I'm going to take a little bit of happiness in the fact that they're taking on the blame. And that's it. And I hope they got the right people around them to tell them point, hey, this ain't you. Like Skattebo was probably the best player on the Giants team yesterday.
Yes.
If you take, and we can always say, if you take this away, if this was this, you know what I mean? But if you take away the fact that Skattebo had that fumble, he'd be talked about as probably the best rookie performance in the league last week, sorry. Like, that's legit where you'll probably be at, because he looked good as far as running the ball, had some nice passing, some receiving yards there as well. Like, it is what it is. Now, don't get me wrong. He's not supposed to be a star, guys. When Tracy comes back, you hope the two of them work as a nice duo. But at least he's getting some feel for some reps at this point. I feel like he's doing a good job overall. He's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. And Jaxson Dart, guys, Jaxson Dart's not the problem. His problem is he got no one to throw the damn ball to, which we'll get to more than that a little bit. But when you have literally 5 receivers active on the roster, 5 of them, let's do the math here. 5. One of them's a special teamer in Gunnar Olszewski. Bo Collins had no receptions coming into the game. Jalen Hyatt had no receptions coming into the game. You had 2 receivers with a single reception on the season.
Yeah, absolutely absurdity. You expect the rookie quarterback to make magic happen when
the
play with Rabbit.
It's not on him. It's not on him. Like I just, it's where I'm at here. So let's see. We got the comments here. So we got Brad Pond says we should win. I don't know when, but maybe one day.
Place.
Deb say kids. What's up, Deb? Anthony says, what's up, y'all? Jay says the Giants suck. Good thing he's a Colts fan, huh? The coaches suck. Jay says, I don't buy into all the BS hype, but I actually believe we have some decent players, a core for the next coaching staff. I agree 100%. He says, I hate Joe Shane and Bozo Daboll. I don't say I hate them. I think Daboll's just a bad coach. Shane, I'm mixed on. There's been some bad, but Daboll's got to go.
Yeah.
He says, Scamma Bum sucks. Whoa. And I know some of the issues: Daboll, Bowen, Hyatt, Neal, Collins. I can keep going. It needs to start at the top. I think Joe Shame is an effing cancer. He says stars are decided by where they're picked or their contract. Anthony says don't disagree. Jay says Scott's jersey was Brown from how tight he holds the football against his body. I'm not about his fumble at all. Exactly. I mean, look at the way that kid plays. He bum rushes into people and gets like 2 extra yards every single time he runs the ball. Like, and fumbled it once. The way he plays. And I
think he would fumble a lot more.
Excuses, but yeah, you expect some fumbles the way he plays. Like that's going to go into it. If you want to get a guy who goes down the second contact happens, yeah, he's probably going to hold on the ball 100% of the time. When you invite that contact and you go in, it's going to happen more often. That's just life. Deb says, got to share a good one I heard. Skattebo is a white OJ. It's the gloves. Oh my gosh.
That's fantastic. Does he drive a Bronco?
Oh my God. They do make them again, so you never know. Jason Evan Street is pathetic. It's sad as Rob alone at the vacuum store the day after Christmas. Oh.
Yo, Christmas is a Thursday, so it's a Friday. You know how much you're gonna miss sales if you don't go in on a Friday?
Let's see here. Jay says Skattebo is a backup. He's not a backup. He's part of a group of running backs. I firmly believe that. I think if you get a good speedy guy like a Tyrone Tracy gets at that point there, I think the two of them together would be a good mix. Jay says it feels like they're phasing Tracy out for Skattebo early this season. I just think they were trying to get things going. The offense sucked before Tracy got hurt. I mean, to be honest, like that time period, the offense was bad, much like it was last week, but they were still trying to figure it out. Anthony says, Jay, why the hate towards Scat? Deb says, this is not going to get fixed this season. Giants will not end this regime before the end of the season. I don't disagree, Deb, but I can still hope. I'm hoping for a press conference on Friday, to be very frank with y'all. I really am. I'm hoping for a press conference on Friday. Jay says, I don't hate anyone in real life or here except for Shane and Daboll. I think Scat is a backup, a fun player, but not an RB1. Jay says, I think they should fire him at the end of the bye week. It doesn't help to fire them this soon. And Deb says, replace Daboll with who? Kafka? Honestly, it's probably the only option you have. And I don't like the option. Don't get me wrong. But this is what happens when you surround an inept coach with no one to challenge him.
Yeah.
That's what you did. Like, literally, there's not a single coach on this coaching staff that actually has experience as a head coach. And we wonder why a first-time head coach is struggling. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think he would have listened to him either because he's a freaking, just heavy-headed moron at times. But it's still, never see that scenario. A first-time head coach with nobody with head coaching experience on the staff with him.
I was about to say, you look at, we had the most experience out of all of them there. But then you go to Kafka, who's new to his position as well.
Yeah.
And no better than I, because they were supposed to be an offensive guru.
Yeah. Anthony says, I'm bringing signs to the 49ers and Packers games. Uh-oh. Maybe you should hire a plane. Just saying, Anthony. Hire the plane. You got this. As Jay says, you should wear a paper bag. And he says, I might just do that, Jay. And Deb says, secondly, watching the Patriots, what Vrabel has done with that team. Well, listen, we knew that going into it. Vrabel's a good coach. We knew that going into that. But let's be honest, we also knew that no matter what, Vrabel was going to the Patriots. That's the one thing that's got to make sure people are aware. Vrabel could have been sitting there and a Giants opening could have been there. The Giants weren't getting him. Because the only way the Giants could have got him is if they overpaid for him, and that's not something Mara was going to do.
Yeah.
Jason, does it sound correct, though? $10 billion franchise we're rolling out Shermer, Joe Judge, and Daboll sounds a bit frugal. Exactly. And Anthony says, somebody give me all the info and I'll help fund the planes. Let's do it. But yeah. Like I said, I think that the team is just it's at a loss. Like I said, the rookies they're not to blame. Like I said, I love the fact they're taking the blame, but they're not to blame. And, take the ownership, be a leader, but recognize that the problems are way beyond you guys. So let's talk about a potential solution to a problem here. Now, let me be very clear. Not a replacement, but there's a wide receiver that became available today to play. It was cleared for football activities. I think the Giants should take a look at.
OBJ.
No, it's not OBJ. God damn it. No more. Treylon Burks. Listen, again, he's not amazing. Like, I'm not trying to sit there and say, oh, here's the next Neighbors. Like, the next Neighbors is not sitting there in October. Like,
No, he's probably locked in with a fat contract somewhere.
yeah. So, I mean, in the last 3 seasons in Tennessee, he had 27 games in total, 17 starts, 53 catches, 699 yards, and a touchdown. Not great. But let's also understand the fact that he was playing in Tennessee. Not that the Giants really have much room to talk, but it's not like Tennessee was a prolific offense and he had the best coaching, the best system, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say otherwise. Let's also not forget that there's all kinds of turmoil going on in Tennessee. Again, he's very familiar. He's going to feel right at home if he comes here. But I'm just saying, like, this is the guy who at least can do something on the field. I don't, like I said, I'm not saying anything crazy what he can do. But let me ask you this. Who do you think does better on the field right now? Treylon Burks or Jalen Hyatt? What do you think, Rob? Treylon Burks or Bo Collins? Who do you think?
Ugh. Treylon Burks. Come on. You gave me a bunch of goose eggs.
Treylon Burks or Gunnar Olszewski on offense?
Olszewski had a really good one preseason game.
Yeah. I'm just saying, this is why I'm saying this, guys. Like, we have a wasteful. We're going to get into a little bit of this here in a minute here, but we have spots that are absolutely wasted. You know?
Oh, I can see that were used.
And here's a guy that we can get without giving anything up. You know? And that's a big thing I think that we need to look at as Giants fans is that we can go ahead and get this guy and not give up a damn thing. And it's not going to be expensive. Now, I will play devil's advocate. If I'm Treylon Burks, I want nothing to do with the Giants. I want to go to a team that has a good offensive system where I can be like a third receiver. Like San Francisco, Minnesota, hell, maybe even Indy.
Listen, Patriots,
it's a better spot. There's pretty much a lot of spots here that you could say are a better spot than the Giants. They go probably around 31, maybe 30. But
give or take 30.
Here's the one benefit and the one thing that Giants can give is you can sit there and say to him, look at our roster. You have a chance to contribute right off the bat. You have a chance to be one of the 3 starting wide receivers right off the bat. Who else can give you that? And that, to me, would be something that if I'm Treylon Burks, I look at okay, I'm trying to build my value back up. There's a good option to build my value. But again, in the back of my head, I'm also sitting there saying it's the Giants. Do I really trust they're going to help my career? Or am I better off going somewhere else and having a small role and at least looking like a part of a competent offense? Like, you could play both sides of that coin.
Yeah.
You know.
You could also say, hey, like, even he may not have the stats on the yards, but if you look at the at the footage and see him open run routes properly, he may get more of that on film than you would as a third or fourth receiver somewhere else.
Okay. I got to do this. You know I love doing the math, okay? The trio, Jalen Hyatt, Bo Collins, Gunnar Olszewski, have totaled 1 catch for 7 yards in the season now, okay? In 5 games. So let's do the math on that. That would put you at a total of, 70 yards in 5 games. It's 1.4 yards per game in that trio. Do we not think that's easy to beat out? That's my whole point I'm making here. Treylon Burks literally average about 26 yards a game. Again, not great, guys. I'm not trying to throw that in there as if he's great. But I don't see how this kid's not an upgrade. And you can get him for free.
You can get a lot of players for next to nothing. That would be a big upgrade.
Yeah. Like I said, it's an option I think we should definitely look at. That's for damn sure. Let's see here. Jay says Drew dumpster diving. Yeah, listen, sometimes you got to find a bargain. It is what it is. Jay says, isn't that the guy they thought would replace AJ Brown? Cringe. Yeah. But again, do you trust? And again, this is not me saying the Giants are great at this, but do you trust that the Titans were good at getting the best out of an offensive weapon? You tell me it's not even worth bringing in for a look when you got 3 receivers in your roster totaling 1 catch, 7 yards.
Yeah,
or even all 3. Even Per would be pathetic.
Cam Ward seems to be struggling.
Yeah,
right now. So, yeah.
Anthony said, I'd like to see Mike Potato as our OC next year if he gets fired from Miami. I wouldn't mind that if depending on what we do at the head coaching level. Like, I think if you get a guy like we talked about Jesse, the defensive coordinator over in LA, the Chargers, maybe that's the guy you get and say, hey, you control the offense. I'll be the CEO and control the defense. We got this. Not a bad pairing there. I don't know if they know each other at all besides just NFL circles in general, but I'm just saying. Jason, I like Potato a lot. I think their GM is the problem. I think Mike McDaniel is not a head coach. He's a coordinator.
Yeah, he's
the man. But the way he conducts himself, the way he presents himself, I just can't take him serious. I really can't. Like, tell me this guy is in a coach's meeting and he's getting you fired up.
Listen, it worked for him his 1 year, but then again, Daboll fired up the 1 year.
Yeah.
And had us all fired up.
Hey, 1 year is not difficult, right?
Yeah, it's not.
Jason, Sterling Shepard is better than what we got. Correct, but we'd have to trade for him. That's the problem. So, Deb says, I think Humphrey it would be better than Hyatt. 100%. I would move up Humphrey in a freaking heartbeat. The fact that it didn't last week is a goddamn travesty. Anthony says, I don't think Shepard is better than a Robinson. No, I don't think he's better than a Robinson, but I think he's better than the 3 we talked about. Hyatt is such a waste, Jay says. Yep. And Jay says, for 1 game, I would take Shepard. At least he catches the ball. Yeah, but you also might just get 1 game out of him. And the way he played with the Giants, he's been healthy since he left us, but oh my gosh.
Well, the thing is, like, yeah, since he left us, like, what did he put up? 24 yards this past week?
Yeah, I mean, that's what he does consistently.
Yeah. That's someone you don't want as your number 1, 24 yards. But then again, it's also a lot better than 1.5 yards.
Yeah, he's their 4th receiver right now. Now,
yeah, which means he's got the 3rd, 4th.
Mike Evans is out. He kind of bumped up to number 3 because Mike Evans is out. And they had injuries before as well because they had the injuries to Godwin to start the season as well. But he's got just under 200 yards already in 5 games. So he's still averaging. He's going to average about 650 for the year if he continue this way. Take that in a heartbeat. Let's see here. Next comment we got there is Deb says, yeah, from Tennessee to the Giants. What a big step up. No, like I said, I'm not. That's why I'm playing devil's advocate there. I'm not disagreeing with you, but I still would take the pitch. I would give him the pitch at point blank. I'm going to give you the chance to make a huge impact. Those guys, you'll ride the bench.
Yeah.
Jason, life, his legs be more cadaver ligaments than they already do. Oh my god. Anthony says, at this point, let's just bring OBJ in. Who cares? At least he catches the effing ball. It's sad that honestly, I'm kind of on board with it at this point myself. Like desperate times call for desperate measures, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not expecting big things from him either. But imagine if you cut loose, let's say, for example, Jalen Hyatt, and you cut loose Bo Collins, and you bring in OBJ, Treylon Burks, and you call up little Jordan Humphreys. Tell me that depth and get 10 times better in 2 seconds, Vlad.
A lot better, yeah.
A lot better.
Big time. Yeah.
So, and let's see here. And Jason, it would make things interesting for sure. We're desperate. Who cares at this point? Exactly. Got nothing to lose. Deb says I read the turf was replaced in 2023 and in 2024 is now rated as one of the safest and had the lowest injuries. Before that was when it had record-breaking injuries. It's gotten better, that's for sure. But if you talk to most players, they'll tell you point blank they want nothing to do with turf. There are some players who specifically, like, if they look at two places to go in free agency and all, and one has turf, one has grass, the grass is the tiebreaker, and they'll go there.
Yeah, and there's also like different degrees of turf. I don't understand the fullness of it, but like what the Giants have is pretty much more like a tennis court when they first started MetLife, but they switched it over to something a little softer. So this way, it's a little. Yeah, it's a softener. No, it's a little softer. It's not as hard. You're not playing the concrete.
That's what she said.
Ayo.
My left butt cheek is an upgraded.
Where you catching it?
And Anthony's in the middle, of course. Anthony said he changed it with synthetic grass, which is turf. I think that there's that much of a difference. Jason, that Callahan guy is as bad as Daboll, but I'll tell you who isn't. Callahan Auto Parts. Because I can get a good look at a T-bone by sticking my head up a bull's ass, but I'd rather take the butcher's word for it. Dep's okay AC, but it's now rated very good. Bad rep came before replacement. Yeah, but again, it's been this is now a year and like 5 weeks into it, and we didn't have the injuries last year, but we got, the injury, unfortunately, to Malik Neighbors brings that topic up again. And like I said, I think most people would tell you that chance is much smaller with an actual grass field, no matter how good the turf is. So Jason conducts himself, carries himself, says the man who hangs out with Rob. Allen Robinson. No, Allen Robinson is done. At this point, I'd rather have the Alan Parsons project. This is just bad. Anthony says, correct, Deb. They had to do that instead of grass because the grass would never recover both the Jets and Giants games. Or they can just put new grass down for each game. It's not that expensive. Jason's AC, it's because they have shitty concerts nearly 10 times a year. Or at least one, I thought you could play every week on a field. I'm confused by that. Anthony says, Jay, most fields don't see contact every week between home and away games. However, with all the Jets at home games, there's no recovery time. Again, go ahead and replace the grass then. It's replaceable. Jay says, but it's like a golf course or soccer field. They do spot repairs on it. Deb says, one take a Neighbors injury, blamed it on Dart. If Neighbors had not come to back for the ball, he would not have gotten hurt. That's hard to say.
It's also football. Like that's part of the game to come back.
And it's the same as saying that, like, you could sit there and say that the turf and grass thing didn't matter. He would have got hurt either way. You don't know. All you can sit there and say is these things potentially increased it. And Neighbors routinely went back for balls and caught them and never got hurt. But you jumped the wrong way on turf. And next thing you know, and I just think that's what happened. It's no one can convince me otherwise, because quite frankly, no one knows for sure. And to me, it's just the most plausible thing. Anthony says, I mean, yes, but no one wants to pay for that amount of repairs, or just get a new one. Jesus, Tim's take was horrendous. Jason, you're not wrong. AC. Deb, I agree, Jay. He's been over the top lately. Anthony says, you're not wrong either. Hold on. They're going back and forth. The Tim's down. Hold on. Okay, you guys are going off in your tangents here now with Tim. Sean Jackson's good evening, fellas. Is Daboll potentially coaching his last games upcoming Thursday Night Football if the Giants play sloppy, undisciplined, and again get destroyed by the Eagles? Listen, I would love to tell you yes. I don't think it's going to happen no matter what.
Yeah, listen, you just put Dart in. It's week 3 of the Dart era. You're not going to fire Daves after that. If you didn't put Dart in and lost against the Chargers and lost against the Saints, and yeah, they did his job spot on the line. But Dart's in there, and now he's got a little bit of a cushion to play. But
it's also who takes over.
There's a part of that, but now you have to go back to consistency, and we have to be consistent. There's a new quarterback in there that you guys drafted. Now we have to be consistent with his coaching.
But that's
Yeah.
That's the whole problem. And again, that's why we should have fired him last year, get a whole new quarterback, whole new coach, everything, but that's neither here nor there. I think the big issue, and it's what Deb said earlier, like, who would you give the job to for the rest of the season? And again, I do think this was Daboll protecting himself point blank.
That's 100% what I said when he put him against the Chargers.
Yeah. But
that's why I agree with it to begin with, but he won a game. And
yeah.
That's pretty darn.
It is what it is. All right, let's get the next topic here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about wasted and empty roster spots. It doesn't take a genius to figure out who we're going to pin here these pictures. Like, we're kind of telling you, read between the not so thick lines here. Like, you know, I mean, this roster is just a cluster right now, the way they're doing things. So, Giants, like I said earlier, they played with 51 players on Sunday, guys. That's it. 53-man roster, 51 playing.
It's so ridiculous.
Like, would you ever put 11 or 12 guys on the field at that point? Like would you ever?
Yeah, so I guess line up for the snap. That sounds great. No.
Yeah. I just I don't get it. You know, you wouldn't put the wrong amount of people on there. You wouldn't start with 9 people on the field, guys. You wouldn't do it. So why would you change yourself by having 2 empty spots? And on top of that, 2 running backs. Again, 2 running backs. A position that consistently gets injuries. Like, what happened if Skattebo runs into a goddamn telephone pole and is out for the game?
It's a good thing he's practicing a set.
I'm just saying, like, what happens? You're going to do Devin Singletary the rest of the way? Because you were too stupid to call up a goddamn running back when you have one on your practice squad? I mean, I got to say this. If I'm Turbo Miller, I'd go into the front office and say, just cut my ass.
Yeah, what are you guys doing?
Why are you're more willing to have just 2 running backs than to put me on the active roster? You obviously don't want me here. Let me go.
Yeah, and it's not like we had to fill the spot. We just left 2 open. Like,
yeah,
any player that's on the practice squad that was not elevated, you should probably be pissed because that doesn't matter. Like, if you're like just rather me in the practice squad or the guy that's been that thinks going to be elevated all through the week, all through the year, it doesn't matter because they have you there, and it just is a signal that you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah,
like
they would rather not put you on the roster and have an empty spot. That's how bad it is. I would take that as a huge slap in the face. Like, legit.
That's what I'm saying. Anyone that was on the practice squad should be pissed.
Little Jordan Humphreys, another guy. And listen, you all know I'm not the biggest fan of little Jordan Humphreys. Like there's no love lost there. I've made that quite clear since the day we signed him in that ridiculous name of his. But for his career, okay, he had almost 300 yards last year, 162 yards the year before. Had injuries and all the year before that, but another 250 yards basically the year before that. Again, not great. I'm not suggesting this is world-changing. But you got a guy who last year averaged 17 yards per game when he played. Literally started 7 times with the Broncos. And you'd rather keep him on the practice squad and keep 3 out of 5 receivers that total for the entire season now, 5 weeks in, 1 catch, 7 yards. And going into the game, had not a single catch amongst the 3. Tell me if that makes any sense whatsoever. Oh, and not to mention the fact that there was jump balls left and right, and you had guys like Darius Slayton and Jalen Hyatt trying to go for them. Contested catches, those guys. Not their thing. Slayton's a burner, and Hyatt's a burnout. Like that's what it is. You know, like I don't get it. Like, what benefit did we have of keeping those spots? Now I know there's the whole thing of, okay, Then you got to go ahead and call them up, and then you got to bring them back down eventually, potentially. Well, you lost Neighbors. You got to replace him with somebody at that point. Little Jordan Humphrey right there. Let's say you got to bring up hypothetically Turbo Miller, and you don't do him as a one game call up because you had 2 players you already did that with. Bring him up. If he plays good, that's a great problem to have. You got to figure out what you do with him. If he doesn't, you put him back down to the practice squad. You have nothing to lose. Nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God.
2 players of your 5 receivers with 2 players only of the 5 with a single reception this year. And you thought that was a smart plan. And people wonder why I flip out, and I flipped out for a while about Brian Daboll and the fact that his ass should have been gone a long time ago. By the way, Jay, happy I'm cussing.
Well, it's not the first time he's made a roster mistake or leave an open spot or not call for any people. Like,
no, at least we had a kicker yesterday.
Yeah, touche. But he's done that twice with a kicker already. So hopefully, he doesn't make it 3 times.
Actually, it was 3 times this year, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure that was 3 times this year now.
Well, I'm saying with the kicker because he had it once last year, once this year.
That was once the year before that too. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't recall that one.
All the crappy decisions are just blending together.
Yeah.
But here you go. Imagine this though. Imagine you're running a football team. You have a rookie quarterback. Your star receiver gets hurt. You have 2 of your 5 receivers with receptions now, and that's it. That doesn't throw up a big flag for you. Maybe you should go get somebody. Maybe you should bring somebody off the practice squad when you have a guy sitting there did a 300 yards last year.
Yeah, and 2 open spots.
I would love to hear the thought of why that makes any goddamn sense whatsoever.
Yeah. Even if you didn't think he was going to be that good in the game, you have the open roster spots.
Yep.
You could take the opportunity. What if Slade got hurt? Yeah. What if Wanda got hurt? And you had to trust more in these guys. It had someone else out there. You don't have the room now. It's just
again, cut Jalen Hyatt, cut Bo Collins, go ahead and call up little Jordan Humphreys, sign 2 guys that actually can play. Like we said before, you got 2 guys there in Treylon Burks and OBJ. And all of a sudden, you got a much better receiver core. Don't get me wrong. It's not great. It's not going to be great, though. I just feel like that's something I just don't get why we're having this discussion still. It's insanity. Absolute insanity. And here's another one for you. I said wasted and empty roster spots. Let's talk about the wasted ones. Because you got 2 guys that showed up on tape. If you rewatch the game, and you can see it very well, very clearly from the All-22, Jalen Hyatt and Deontay Banks, who just seem to refuse to block people. You saw it in Jalen Hyatt. There was a run that Dark did. Is about 7 minutes left in the second quarter there. And hold on, I got actually took it was about 7:30. So left in the second half, and you'll see a quick run by Jaxson Dart, and he's running for a first down. And all of a sudden, Jalen Hyatt stopped where he should, right past the line there, to go ahead and maybe catch a first down. Well, once Jaxson Dart takes off, he just stands around. Got 2 guys in between him and Jaxson Dart. Doesn't attempt to block a single person. Deontay Banks on one of the kickoff returns. You could see same thing. We just didn't want to. He had a good kickoff return of the game. He's actually not a bad returner. Is the scary part, but the ball didn't get to him on one of them, and literally just standing around, not blocking anybody.
Yeah,
that's goddamn ridiculous. And this is the kind of stuff that I have a problem with, because you get these kind of things, and these are culture issues. You have allowed this to happen. You've stated you can do this and make it on the roster next week.
And it's not just saying like this player could do it. That allows the whole team to get into that mindset.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
And it's just like, no, like you got to nip that in the butt. You got to do your job.
You can't do this. And I'm telling you right now, and I get on Banks, he's at least got some value on defense, though I hate when he's on the field. I just never want to see him there. But he's got some value, at least on defense. I can see that to a certain degree. But Jalin Hyatt, especially, if he's not the guy you set an example of saying, dude, you didn't go for the ball, you went for the pass interference. You haven't caught a goddamn pass all year long, and I see you not blocking when you should be. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Or
and then you show that video of him not blocking and said, we just cut Jalin Hyatt. Show the video and say, this is why.
Or Monday morning, the first thing you should do when you're re-looking at the game and you're looking over the tape, hey, why aren't we blocking? And like literally just point them out through the whole roster. Like, why are we doing this? If you're not going to catch the ball, you need to show some value because otherwise you won't be on the field. And that not only sends out a statement that you're going to cut his ass or you're still going to sit there and bench him. It sends a message to everyone else. Like, if you want a spot in this roster, you better start blocking if that's the case.
Yeah, I can't. And listen, if you can find somebody you think is better than Banks in the open market, then all power to you. Cut Banks too. Be very clear. I'm done with these guys. Here's a good one for you. Another guy we should be done with. We have 2 empty roster spots, and Evan Neal's a healthy scratch. Can someone explain that to me?
Who's too busy flipping burgers? That one's okay.
You literally have Evan Neal available for the game, and you'd rather have 2 empty spots in your roster than play Evan Neal. And when I mean play Evan Neal, I don't even mean sit there and go ahead and put him on the field. At least suit him up and put him on the sidelines just in case you need a guard or a lineman or a glass of water or something. I don't know. Like,
water boy.
You would rather not have him suit up than to put him on the roster for a game day when you have 2 open spots. If that's not an indictment of how bad you think he is, there is no other way to specify that in any way, shape, or form without saying point blank, he needs to go. He needs to go because you've proven no matter what the hell happens to your roster, you're not putting Evan Neal on the roster. You would rather have a blank spot on the roster than suit him up. That's insanity. Absolute insanity. So Evan Neal, Jalin Hyatt, Deontay Banks, Bo Collins, get the hell out of here. I'm done with this. Go get guys that actually can play football. There are out there. And again, they're not pro bowlers. They're not all pros. These aren't going to be great players. But they're guys who at least would give a shit. These players don't care. They don't care. And they have no reason to care because this is not the first time they get caught on film doing this stuff. And they just stay on the roster because this regime drafted them. Got to prove
I think having them not suit up is like a little like, look what we did. We drafted this guy and he's not starting. He's a healthy scratch. That could be you guys, but it doesn't send a clear message when you have 2 open people.
Instead,
roster.
This team is so bad. We literally got people in the comments discussing gourmet hot sauces and ketchups.
And listen, I saw a comment before about egg sandwiches. It's pork roll, egg, and cheese on everything bagel with pepper, ketchup, hot sauce. You don't need salt.
And I ain't even knocking you all for saying. I'm not even saying as far as that. I'm just saying point blank, like that's how disenfranchised the fan base is. That they're literally in here talking about hot sauce and ketchup in the chat. The Giants should be goddamn embarrassed about what's going on. And that's the worst part is I don't see them embarrassed. I don't see them flipping out. I see them looking defeated. And you got to go ahead and get rid of the guys who aren't going to do what you got to do to win. because the little things are what makes you win.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, the little things are what make you win. And I know that, again, that's a cliche thing to say, but it's the truth. And you're not going to do that with 2 empty spots in the roster. You're not going to do that with 3 guys out of 5 receivers that haven't got a single goddamn catch in the entire year. You're not going to get that when you got 2 guys, a first-round pick and a third-round pick, that can't even block. It's beneath them. They're above blocking, apparently. Done. Get rid of them all.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, this is part of why I want Daboll gone. It's because I really want the Giants to go in there, get someone in that building that can truly analyze everything on the football side of operations and make sweeping changes. And you can't do that in a month or 2 and then have the draft. You do it now. And you give those guys a chance to come in, your new scouts, your new football operations guys, and all these things, and you let them go ahead and come in now. Make these changes. Get everything rolling. Be prepared for the offseason. Not be kind of putting things together last minute. It should be done. It should have been the last offseason, but it should be done. I'm just sick of it. Absolutely sick of it. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and pay the bills real quick, and then we'll right back. And we're going to give you guys our preview of this Thursday night football loss to the Eagles coming up here. And, yeah, it's just, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and pay the bills, guys, real quick.
Thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
All righty, guys. Let's go over our preview of this Thursday night football coming up here with the Eagles at the Giants. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little fair warning because I know some of y'all hate when people do this. There's going to be some kudos going after the Eagles in this. I know you're all going to hate that potentially here, but I got to call it like it is and give some kudos to some things that, quite frankly, have to be called out because they do a lot of things that Giants don't do that they should do. They're like the un-Giants. So... Jace is here. It might even matter angry. I don't hate the Cowboys for Eagles. I really don't care anymore. I think that's where a lot of us are at. Like
we suck that bad.
I could not even care less at this point if we get demolished by the Eagles because I expect it. That's where I'm at. I expect it, and that's goddamn pathetic. Let's go into it though, because the Eagles, honestly, it's an interesting team to look at. It really is. You look at the team there, 30th in the NFL at 251.6 yards per game. Yet they're 11th at 25 points per game. Think about that. They're like the 3rd worst team in yards per game. Yet they're just barely not a top 10 points per game. That's insanity. Now, the number's been aided by a blocked field goal for a touchdown. That's versus the Rams, a blocked punt for a touchdown versus the Bucs. They get 14 points, out of that.
They also get a lot more because their special teams has been very, very good on different blocks, where not just returning them down against the Rams, but like they've stopped big plays where they put the Eagles in a good field position where they don't have to march it down the field.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. And luckily for the Eagles, that's what happens. But, it's they're just efficient guys. They're averaging 3 touchdowns per game on offense, it's 7th in the NFL. They're averaging 1.4 rushing touchdowns per game, 4th in the NFL. And the big one, the thing that the Giants can't do whatsoever, 71.43 red zone touchdown percentage, guys. It's top 5 in the NFL.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is we don't get a lot of yards, but we get in the red zone, we're going to score a touchdown.
And it's also goes back to their defense. Like their offense has not looked nearly as good as it did last year. They're talking like pretty much top 7 of all stats on the offense. The Eagles were there. They're in the bottom 25. I don't look at the updated ranks of where they lie, but last week I think they were 30th in rushing, 29th in rushing in the league.
So
going into the Broncos game, they were like 30th in the total yards. It was not good.
So here's the rushing numbers. They do still rush the ball a lot. 28.4 times per game, which is 9th highest in the league, okay? Yet they're 25th in the league at 99.8 rushing yards per game. Think about that. 9th most rushes, 25th most yards.
Yeah.
That's an insane stat. They average 3.5 yards per rush, which is 29th best in the league. That's insanity. Now you look at Saquon this year, 267 rushing yards in 5 games with a 3.2 yards per carry average. After last year, 2,005 yards, 5.8 yards per carry average. He's lost 2.8 yards per carry, or 2.6 yards per carry, guys. Like, he's almost half.
So part of it we have to think about too is that offensive line's banged up. It's been banged up pretty much all year, and they keep losing people on the spot. That's part of the reason why the Broncos defense looked so good against them last week, getting after Hurts. Putting pressure, getting pressure after Barkley. We also have Barkley plays. We have Giants fans, we all know he's feature fan. Like, and he does that 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, 35 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 60 yards, 3 yards. So he's not being able to break out this year. That's what the difference maker is.
Yeah. Yep. No, 100%. And their passing offense has definitely left much to be desired as well. 161.8 yards per game, 31st in the league, 6.4 yards per pass, 24th. And their line's giving up a ton of sacks as well. Hurts is being sacked on 9.74% of passing plays, 28th in the league. No interceptions, though. They don't turn the ball over. So that's good for them. 5 games in, Devontae Smith is the only receiver they have over 200 yards. On a team that consistently gets 2 guys over 1,000 yards, like consistently.
Not this year.
So
you got talks about trades and walking away.
Yeah, Smith has 272 yards. A.G. Brown, 194. Dallas Goedert, 133, though he is their red zone guy. Nobody has more than 1 touchdown in the passing game except for Goddard, who's got 4. Almost 1 a game. Saquon's got 128 yards receiving. So, yeah, not a great offense. Something tells me it's a get-right game on Thursday for them. I hate to be the negative guy at this, but let's be honest, how can I not be? Like,
I mean, we're going to talk about they need to get right game. I don't think it's against the Giants. Not going to say that the Giants are going to win. Just saying they're dealing with a lot of injuries, a lot more than a lot of people have realized or talked about.
Yep. And
it's affecting their play. We're seeing it, but their special teams is probably the best side of football they have.
Yeah.
They've been lights out.
Yeah. Now, Philly's defense has literally been average. So they're allowing 21.8 points per game. That's 16th. But again, they're extremely efficient. They're allowing just a 37.5 red zone TD percentage, 3rd best in the NFL. Let me just tell you this, guys. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure out that if you get in the red zone and score on a consistent basis, and you stop other teams from scoring touchdowns when they happen to get in the red zone on a consistent basis, you're probably going to win some games.
Good chance. So you're saying there's a chance.
They're efficient. That's what it is. Their biggest weakness is against the run. They give up 4.7 yards per rush, 25th in the league. They give up 126 rushing yards per game, as 21st in the league. Their passing defense has been really what's been great for them. 57.95 completion percentage they're giving up right now, which is second best in the NFL, and just 6.3 yards per pass, which is fourth best in the league. So, to a degree, I guess the one thing you say is that the Giants, the way they play the game with rushing Skattebo nonstop and, giving Dart a chance to run the ball. And who knows if Tracy's back on Thursday. We'll figure that out more as that comes. They will do our injury report on Wednesday. But, there's a chance here that the Giants just run the ball over the Eagles and at least something looks good in this year. But let's be honest, guys. We say there's a chance, but we're so negative at this point there that the chance is like maybe a 5% chance.
I'll go a little higher, but I'm not saying it's a 5. No, I'll go to double digits. I'll give them like a 20 to 25% chance.
Yeah. And yeah, they got a lot of the usual guys have had the last couple of years. The one guy I want to point out, because he's just been balling out big time on defense, is Zach Bond. 42 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 3 passes deflected, and an interception. Think about it, it's 5 games.
Yeah.
That's
all in.
That's insane. He's on pace at this point for, you figure, what, 135, 140 tackles, 7 sacks, like 16, 17 tackles for loss, 3 or 4 interceptions. Like, that's an insane start. But I think the biggest takeaway here, guys, is really is the Giants could learn a lot from the Eagles. And guys, it pains me to say that, but it's the truth. They are absolutely the model of efficiency. They score touchdowns. They stop opponents from scoring touchdowns. They're top 10 in takeaways. They're top 10 in not giving the ball away. On paper, guys, if you look at everything this team has done, they have no right being 4-1. No right being 4-1 at all.
No.
But
well, look at against the Rams. They should have lost against the Rams, but it was the last second, 10 seconds left on the clock, block field goal, return for a touchdown, win the game. They were about to lose that game.
Yeah. Block punt against the Bucks. They would have.
I was about to say, the week right after, Bucks.
Yeah. 2 of their 4 wins came because of those special teams plays.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what it is. And we say it all the time because it's so cliche, but it's the truth. Good teams find a way to win. Bad teams find a way to lose. We're the bad team that finds a way to lose. The Eagles are the good team that finds a way to win.
And it's ridiculous because we were a bad team that found ways to win when Daboll first got here. And I don't know what happened. His true colors just showed. And now we just got a better team that's a bad team.
Yeah.
Just making worse decisions.
Yeah. I mean,
it makes no sense.
You would sit there and say, if you play a clean game of football and you run the ball down their throats and the defense shows up and, and you stop the run, which, again, they don't sit there and run the greatest right now anyway as it is, then maybe there's a chance. But here's the problem you run into. I said about the Giants running the ball well, and that's the one thing going for them. I'm not wrong on that. I think safe to say that you want to run the ball against the Eagles. The
Eagles, yeah.
But here's the problem. They rush like crazy. We can't stop the run. They don't give the ball away, and they're great at getting turnovers. We give the ball away. Honestly, I think this is going to be a get-right game for the Eagles and an absolute blowout. And that's where I'm at. And that's why I keep on saying I hope for a press conference on Friday. I don't expect one. Let me be very clear on that. I do not expect a press conference on Friday. But I'm hoping for one. because I'm sick and goddamn tired of the way this team is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just, I guess you got to hold that 1% of hope. But, we'll be here. We'll be here crying with you guys doing play-by-play. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of rowdy Eagles fans, and Eagles fans always tend to pop in when we do Eagles games. Except for when that one time the Giants beat them and destroyed them. It's amazing they left really quickly.
So like stop talking shit.
But yeah, like I said, it is what it is. It is what it is, guys. All right. We're gonna do our quick rundown on the week 5 scores here with you guys. Now, like I said, we're not gonna do like we usually do because we're already a little over an hour in and we haven't started. But we're going to go ahead and give you guys the rundown of all the games that have been completed and let you know at that point where the Jacksonville Jaguars and Kansas City games at, which is started right now. So like I said, quick version of what we're doing here. So, all right, week 5. So we got obviously started with Thursday night game, 49ers 26, Rams 23 is overtime game there.
Yeah. And then you go over the Pirate field. You got the Vikings winning 21 to the Browns 17 in a little close game there.
Cowboys destroying the Jets 37-22. At least we got the Jets to make us look somewhat good. Jets still the last team not to have a win in the NFL.
I was about to say, you got to love New York. New York.
2 worst teams.
Obviously, y'all goofballs know what happened. The Giants lost 14 to Saints 26.
Oh, yeah. Then you got the Raiders getting absolutely pounced on by Indiana Jones and the Colts there. 40-6. Absolute insane. It was so bad that literally Pete Carroll was being asked why I didn't pull Geno Smith.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Colts don't pounce. They stop.
Yeah.
This team.
Just
anyway. But talking about pouncing, the Panthers win 27 over the Dolphins 24. And actually kind of a close game.
See, somebody had to win game.
Yeah.
Then you got the Texans absolutely destroying the Ravens. Something is wrong in Baltimore. That's for goddamn sure.
A lot of injuries.
Yeah. Texans 44, Ravens 10.
Tennessee, how about them Titans? Remember the Titans because they finally going to remember this day because they finally won 22-21 and an absolute second half last quarter comeback.
Talk about the Cardinals doing Cardinal things.
Oh my God. They're the new Jets. They're the West Coast Jets.
So Tampa Bay Buccaneers win again in very close fashion. That's just what the Bucs tend to do. 38-25 over the Seahawks.
Great game. Lions playing with their food, eating the Bengals up. 37-24. Lions win.
If there's like a 3-way game we could ever do and throw the Bears in there, it'd be like a Wizard of Oz team. You got the Commanders destroying the Chargers that we beat and pumped our chest on so much last week, 27-10. Maybe that win. Again, I got called a hater for it, but maybe the win was because our pass rush destroyed a second team offensive line. Just saying.
And listen, because they were also without Daniels in that game, so could be.
Oh, Jaden Daniels in that game.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was in that game.
So he definitely was a little beat up then. Anyway, up next, you had the upset of the week. You had the Patriots winning 23 over the Bills 20, which I'm pretty sure that spread was like 8.5 points towards the Bills.
Well,
nuts.
I always say the Bills do not cover the spread.
Well, they didn't cover anything because they lost.
I know, but I'm saying in general, like they're not the team that covers the spread like that. And as we sit right now, currently, we got, as we're recording this, 3 minutes to go left in the third quarter. The Chiefs and the Jaguars are both tied at 14. So we'll have to see what
Chiefs
happens.
are in the red zone, so let's see what happens there.
We'll see what happens there. But as of right now, Rob and I are like so close, it's not even funny in this game here. Looks like, let's see here. You are up, I believe, by 2 points right now on me. But I picked the Chiefs. You picked the Jaguars. We both picked the under. So, and the Jaguars just scored. So, right now it's 20-14. I'm sure 21-14.
Oh, was that a pick six? Oh my God. Am I watching this live right now? Pick six.
I thought they were in the red zone scoring the Chiefs, and now all of a sudden some of the Jaguars.
Listen, They should have already had 7 on the board, but there's that fumble that was very controversial right there.
Six, Jay says.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is after the fumble that the Jaguars had that helped the Chiefs go 90 yards for a touchdown. So
which, I don't know if you saw that play, Drew. It was literally right there on the goal line.
I didn't see the play. We're doing a show.
Listen, you have 17 TVs set up right there. And I know you
4.
watch the games. And I know you watch the games. And you have the capability to watch the games. You're also in Florida.
I don't have ESPN.
Okay.
I don't have ESPN. I really don't. I have to watch bootleg things at that point, then have Jay mock me. Oh my gosh. So it is what it is, guys. Listen, I just feel like this is one of the this is just one of those moments that Giants fans we got to make it through. Like it just is what it is. It's Jason's how to be a content creator and then I'll have ESPN because I can only have so many, Jay. I got Red Zone, I got NFL Plus, I got NFL Sunday Ticket, I got Peacock and all that stuff. Like I don't do so many. It is what it is. But all right. He says, hold on. He says, what about all that dough you get from Anthony Kim at ESPN for $10? I have ESPN Plus, but you have ESPN Live. You have to actually go ahead and do an actual cable thing. And I refuse to give the cable company any money. They're goddamn thieves.
Oh, yeah. $200 for cable.
Goddamn thieves.
Cut it out.
Yeah, not worth it. So I got Dofu Sports. I'm good. I got the app. I'm good to go. Yeah. All right, guys. That's gonna call
it
it's gonna call it a night for us here. As like I said, we're getting ready for our Wednesday game there. Now on the Wednesday game, what we're going to go ahead Wednesday episode, we're going to do an injury report there for you guys. We'll talk a little bit of Giants news as well. We'll have to figure out what we're going to do exactly this week here. So Rob and I still got to sit down and figure that part out because we got obviously the we got to figure out the picks episode. We got a lot of stuff to figure out still this week, Rob and I. As usual, we're just not prepared. It is what it is. Jay says, your middle-aged rants, cable TV is a scam. It is. Why should I pay for cable TV? So I can watch the occasional Monday night game and I can watch on an app on my phone. That's illegal. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Screw it. I'm not doing it. This football gets enough of my money. The Sunday ticket alone is like $300, and like I can't even get games that are locally shown on it.
Did you see the whole thing with Eastern Streams? How they got shut down?
Yeah.
You know how they got shut down? It's because LeBron James, who makes all the money in the world, but they didn't want to give the NBA the money package, so he was watching sports off of Eastern Streams. So if LeBron can do it, I can do it. Well, it's not Eastern Streams because it's pulled.
Well, it might be done with LeBron James because he just teased a major announcement coming Tuesday with the decision of all decisions. So, we'll see what happens with him. I mean, he is like 57 years old, somehow still playing basketball. So, maybe he'll, maybe he'll stop playing finally. Now that he's got a chance to play with his kid, that was his goal, I think. But how old is he now? He's what? 40?
He's like early. Yeah, I was gonna say it's gotta be early 40s. He got drafted.
Yeah, he's 40.
Oh, on the dot 40.
Yeah, he'll be at like New Year's Eve. So December 30th is his birthday, apparently.
Because I knew he got into the league very, very young, but I guess he also had that kid.
He was in college, so he came right out of high school. He was the last big name to come right out of high school. So
yeah, I was going to say like 18, 19.
Yeah, probably 18 or 17. I mean, depending on when he graduated high school.
Tush.
So, all right, guys. Anyway, that is going to call it a night. We'll be back, like I said, Wednesday night here for you guys. And, of course, we'll be on all evening Thursday, I should say, with the Thursday Night Football play-by-play and post-game reaction show as we complain about our next loss here, which is bound to happen here. So, we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Appreciate you guys for watching, supporting the show as always, especially in these very trying times here as we're all masochist, not to be confused with misogynists.
Yeah, big difference here.
I said that and Rob's like, what did he just say?
Speak for yourself, bro.
We're getting canceled.
Come on, bro.
We're getting canceled. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys Wednesday. And as always, Giant fans, I guess go G-Man.
G-Man.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.